We're now on review number 2. Want to go ahead and hit on a few things here. One of the things you may be asked to do is you may be asked to add a page border, which you have to do under page layout. If you go to page layout, you'll find your page borders button, and then you can choose a border. If they tell you to use art, you may go down here and use art. They may tell you to use maybe even just a simple shadow border, something like that. They may give you a color. Maybe we'll change the size of it, make it a little bit thicker, like that. They may have you also go in and change the options on that so that you can tell it how close you want it to the text. We've done this before in class. Maybe we'll just change that to text right there by using our options, and then we'll put them 6 points from the text. So when I hit OK and hit OK again, now I've got my page border around all of my text. You could also be asked to do a watermark, and a watermark would be done here in the same exact place. I can go under my watermarks and I can either use text or I can do a custom watermark down here. And here's where I could put in a picture, I could put in text of my own if the document will respond. Let's say we just do text, and I'll just leave it like it is, but you could go in here and change the size of it and change it from diagonal to horizontal and things like that. So there's our little watermark there in the background, which, by the way, you may have noticed popped up here in the header suddenly because it's actually attached to the paragraph mark in the header, so the computer put one up there. Anyway, let's continue to go on here. Some other things that you may have to deal with. You may have to insert a picture into your document. I'll go ahead and just choose clip art for right now. I'm assuming pretty much everybody would be able to do that without any issues. Let me go ahead and I'll just insert that in there real quick, and we'll change the size of this picture. All right. A lot of different things you can do with these pictures. As you know, you may be going in and changing the brightness or the contrast of it. All that would be right here on your format. You could be asked to recolor it, maybe even set a color as being transparent. You could be asked to add an artistic effect to it. Maybe I want to change this thing to a watercolor like it's been done with a sponge. You also have your styles over here that you can apply. And almost guarantee at some point they're going to have you work with text wrapping. So maybe I would need to set this up as square or through or something like that, top and bottom, maybe even tight, just depends. Or you can go down to more layout options, and then when you get down here, I can go in and I can set it for being square, but I can also tell it where I want the text to wrap. If I don't want it on both sides, I could kind of mess with it. Maybe I might have it set for both sides, and then I can tell it how much of space I want away from that. Also, here's where I can get to my position. Okay, and in positioning, this is where I can tell it exactly where I want this picture to be. So maybe I'm going to sit there and say, all right, what I really want this thing to be is I want this to be 1.5 inches to the right of, now I can do like the margin and hit OK. All right. Or I'll go back in this way. Or if I do 2 inches from the margin, like that. That was actually kind of strange. I don't know why I didn't take it the first time. But I can do a lot of different things as far as positioning it. You may be asked to rotate it around. Sorry for the interruption. I had my wife call just there. All right, back to what we were talking about. One of the things they may have you do besides just positioning it and modifying it, they may have you rotate it. And you can rotate it simply by grabbing the free rotate handle up here at the top, but They may also have you do it to a specific amount. And to do that, you want to go ahead and format the picture. So you right click, and when you get in the dialog box, you have 3D rotation in here, and then you can rotate it from here. And if you pull it off to the side, you can kind of watch over here to see which one is going. This, obviously on this one, it's going to be, I believe, the Z. So then I can kind of rotate it around like that, and you can see where it is. Say if they give you a number in here, maybe you might go in there and do just like 90 degrees, or probably more likely maybe 12 degrees, something like that. Okay, so that's how we can rotate our image around to get a specific amount of rotation in it. While I'm here, let me go ahead and hit on something else. You quite often will go in and have to do links. We do a lot of different hyperlinks, and you can do them out to different web pages, or you can actually do them within the document. Let's say I select my text, and be careful on that one. They may ask you to apply a link to text. That means you have to select the text before you actually create the link. And you can go under Insert, or you can right click and choose Hyperlink. If it is a web page, we just use existing file or page and type in whatever the page is. If they want it to some text in your document, you just choose Place in this document, and then say maybe I want it to go to the information security heading. So I hit OK, and that will go ahead and create my link there. And if you hold down Control and click on that, it will actually take you down to that heading. While we're here, let's also spend a moment and work on bullets. Scroll down here and find somewhere where I can put some text in. And I'm just going to create some lines of text. And when you're doing your bullets, you might have to select them and go ahead and apply different bullets. You could go in and do any one of these excuse me, bullets, or maybe even define a new bullet, which would allow you to go in and either apply a symbol, or maybe even go in and get a picture, which you could import a picture from just about anywhere. Use a picture of my daughter and her friend, and then when you hit OK, I figured the picture was too big. It would apply that bullet to it. The other thing you could do instead is you could use a numbering feature and maybe do it like that, and that would also allow you to promote or demote bullets. Maybe I'm going to go in here and select 2 and 3, and I'll just use my increase indent button, and it takes them down to a lower level bullet. That's demoting it. Or I could promote it and move it back to the left, which would bring it back to the other numbering feature. So that's what you're going to see with your bullets when you're working with those. Some other things that you might have to work with: you may have to insert a table, which I'm assuming most people should be able to do without any problem. If they want you to insert a table with specific sizes or anything like that, just know that that means you're going to have to do it inside of a dialog box. And so you have to go to Table and just go down to where it says Insert Table, and then you can go ahead and choose your different settings in here. You may also have to get in there and do a quick table, although I haven't seen it too often in the past, but that would be an option also. I've never seen them or never had them have you do it where you had to use one of those other options. I will say this though: if you have a table, let's say I have my text right here and I'm going to convert this text to a table. I'll just hit OK. Maybe I've got a table. You can change a table back to text. But the way you do that is you go underneath your Layout tab, and there should be a Convert to Text. And then all you got to do is tell it what to put between the different items on there. So nothing too difficult. Hopefully everybody here knows how to split a screen. There's your split screen button. You just click and drag it on down on your screen like that. Or if you go under View, they have the option to split your screen from right there too. Either way, it's not too difficult to do.